I begged them to see my pain. I cried alone in my room while they turned away. They ignored me until I healed without them, and when I finally rose, stronger than ever, their apologies didn't matter anymore. My name is Ava, and for as long as I can remember, I've felt like my emotions were invisible. At home, I tried to tell my parents when I was hurting, when school or friendships left me lonely or scared, but their eyes would glaze over, or they would sigh and say, "It's nothing, stop overthinking." I remember one night, curled up in my bed, tears silently running down my cheeks, begging for someone to notice, to reach out, to understand that my world felt like it was collapsing. I told my best friend about the bullying at school, about how the other girls whispered behind my back, how the teachers turned a blind eye, but she just nodded and changed the subject, clearly uncomfortable and uninterested. My voice seemed to echo in empty rooms. Even at school, when I tried to raise my hand for help, the adults shrugged it off, labeling me sensitive or dramatic, as if my pain wasn't real. The loneliness became suffocating, like I was screaming underwater, fighting to be heard, to be seen, but no one reached for me. I started to believe that my feelings didn't matter, that my struggles were invisible by design, and that I was destined to carry my burdens alone. But slowly, I began to realize something. If no one was going to listen, I would have to learn to listen to myself. I started journaling, writing every fear, every tear, every moment of pain, pouring it onto paper until it felt like someone finally understood me. Even if it was just me, I began to embrace small acts of self-love, walking in the park alone, learning to enjoy my own company, practicing deep breathing when my anxiety spiked, whispering affirmations to myself that no one else believed I deserved. As I healed in solitude, a transformation began. I became stronger, more confident, more resilient than I had ever imagined I could be. The very people who ignored me, the parents who dismissed my cries, the friends who turned away, the teachers who didn't care, suddenly noticed the change. They would comment on how different I seemed, how I was glowing with a newfound confidence. They offered apologies, empty and belated. But I had moved past needing their validation. I realized then that my worth had never been in their hands. It had been inside me all along. Healing alone taught me that the pain they ignored wasn't a weakness, it was a seed of strength. I learned to trust myself, to value my emotions, and to rise above those who couldn't or wouldn't understand me. I learned that sometimes the world's neglect is the push you need to discover your inner power, and that the most profound transformation comes when you stop seeking permission to feel, to heal, and to thrive. Now, when I look back, I don't feel bitterness. I feel gratitude for the pain, for the silence, for the loneliness, because it forced me to grow, to stand tall, and to become the person I was always meant to be. And I want anyone listening to know this. When no one else sees your pain, when your cries go unanswered, you don't have to wait for them. You can start your healing now, because inside you lies a strength they could never give, a courage they could never understand, and a love for yourself that will never be shaken. And one day, when you rise fully healed, when you carry yourself with the confidence that comes from surviving your own storms, those who ignored you will realize they missed the moment they could have supported you, but by then, it will be too late. And that will be the most empowering feeling of all.